morning all. Happy Wednesday? Wednesday. I'm doing an experiment today. I am Charlie. Charlie's getting really confident and he's walking and moving and he doesn't like to sit still. I'm doing an experiment, like I said. I'm deciding for the first time to make wholemeal sourdough. I'm gonna give it a try. I have been working with ChatGPT to convert my regular sourdough recipe into one that accommodates for wholemeal flour instead. Yeah, because it's better for us. It's got all the brand, you know, all the things people tell you. So what I've decided is I'm going to do one. I've got my two very pretty Mason Cash bowls here. I'm going to do one wholemeal loaf and one multigrain loaf, which is similar to what I did last week or the week before, I can't remember, with the different grains and seeds in them. Kind of a multi-seed loaf. Multigrain? I think it's multigrain. Anyway, that's what I'm going to give it a try, because I know they both have their different health benefits, but I don't know which one's going to win. So, first step with a wholemeal loaf is to autolyze. Yeah, which is basically where you mix your flour and water first. And it's going to do a process for about 45 minutes and then you mix everything else in. So I'm going to start there. Yay, Tyler, you say, yay! Autolyze, that's how you pronounce it. Alrighty, so I forgot to press play, but I just mixed 500 grams of flour with 410 grams of water. And now I'm going to mix and mix. Alrighty, now that there is no more dry flour, I'm going to cover this for about 45 minutes. And then in about 45 minutes, I'll start working on my white loaf, or my multigrain loaf. And I'll come back to this. It's going to be a bit of multitasking today. Come on, I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, y'all, it is me again. It's been about 40 minutes, so now I am just starting my white loaf. Doing the usual process: starter, salt, water, flour. Yeah, pretty standard. The boy was too quiet, so I just had to run and make sure he wasn't eating a light bulb, which happened last week. But he's actually just sitting in his room watching the vacuum, so this is actually a good time. I did accidentally add probably 1.5 times the amount of salt that I was intending to. And I checked with ChatGPT, because that is the easiest thing for me, to make sure how that would affect the dough. It basically just thinks it will take a bit longer to ferment. And be a slighter crumb, which is okay, because lately my crumbs have been a little bit bigger than I intended. And maybe it'll even out. I also know when I do the wholemeal one in a minute that it's not going to be as light and fluffy and airy and open as the white flour. It's just going to be a bit, I think everyone just says it looks a bit more rustic. So I am anticipating that and I'm absolutely okay with that. All just seeing how it goes. I also have not made just a single loaf in a long time. I always double my recipe so that I'm doing this less. But because I'm doing the two different flour types and experimenting, I'm doing individual loaves. It's a bit odd because I'm used to, you know, dealing with mass amounts of dough and it's actually quite little. Interesting vibes all around. Anyway, I'm just going to keep mixing and see you in a bit. Alright, this one is now mixed and ready to sit for an hour. Now, back to the multigrain. Got to add the remaining ingredients, so the starter and the salt. And then, yeah, we'll leave that to sit as well for a bit to do their initial, I don't know, is it proof? I don't know, they just sit for an hour-ish. So I'm going to do that. after I check that the boy is still alive, because once again he's too quiet. Never mind, he's yelling at stuff, so that's good. Alrighty, this one is mixed too. See what I mean by it's a little bit different to a white loaf? So I'm going to cover that as well, and then that is also going to sit. This one will also sit for about 45 minutes, and then I'll come and do my first set of stretch and folds. See you then. Hello everyone, it is time for the first stretch and folds, so I'm going to quickly smash them out and then put the boy to sleep, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. He's already cranky, let's get on to it. One. Alright, that's done, and I will see you in half an hour after the boy is asleep, because he's cranky. Alrighty, stretch and folds number 2, and this time for the white loaf I am going to mix through my seeds. So I've got pumpkin seeds, poppy seeds, sesame seeds. Stretch and fold number 2, 3, I think it's 3. Alright, stretch and fold number 4, and this one is just for the white loaf because the whole wheat needs less manual work. Something to do with the gluten and the way it reacts. I don't know. I just do what I'm told. Alrighty, now these have to both ferment on the counter for a bit. I anticipate that the whole wheat will be done sooner, just because of the nature of the wheat. And also I added a little bit too much salt to this, which slows down fermentation. So, I don't know, we'll check in when we check in. Alright, it's a little bit later. Charlie's just starting to get cranky, so I chuck this out. This is the whole wheat. It is apparently quite happy and ready. I'm going to try and shape it. And apparently when shaping whole wheat, it is helpful to do like a pre-shape thing, where essentially you lay it out, flatten, organize it a bit, and it'll sit on the bench for about 10 minutes, and then you shape it. So I'm going to try that. Oh, clean release. And leave it to sit for 10 minutes. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Never mind, it's me again like 2 minutes later. Sorry, there's stuff on the camera. I have decided that the other one is actually ready to shape as well. So I'm going to just next to this, steal some flour and shape my white loaf. Add its leaves and seeds and everything, and get that one in its container. And then by the time that's done, this one will probably be ready. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alrighty, and this is our whole wheat. It is honestly, I don't know how I feel about the shaping. Like, bread is bread, so I'm sure it'll turn out okay. But it doesn't shape the same as white, and so I'm really unsure. But regardless, they're gonna sit out on the bench for 20 minutes and then go in the fridge. Alright, have a little nap. Okay, so just to run down overall, I feel like I was quite confident with the help of ChatGPT in how my wholemeal loaf was going. It's only in the last shaping phase where I feel like I lost it just a little bit. I'm a bit unsure. I don't know how, it just He just wants you to know he's here. Hold on, we'll talk together. It just reacts so differently to white flour. The The basis of this experiment is just to become more confident. Do you want some more food? I'll get you Nana. I'll talk while I'm getting food for Charlie. I know at the end of the day this experiment is really just to become more confident in my wholemeal loaf making abilities. Also just to see how they turn out. I don't know, we'll see. The white loaves always turn out okay. Even though I added a bit more salt, I still feel pretty confident how it'll turn out. The wholemeal, we'll see. It actually is even just sitting in the pan differently, and even talking to my mother-in-law, she is my sourdough guru. You're all flat on me. Even she's not game enough really to do the wholemeal loaves. She also just doesn't like the flavour of them, which is that's everyone's prerogative. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm about to pop them in the fridge, and then they'll proof overnight, and I'll cook them tomorrow. I'll make sure I'll include a clip of what that looks like on the end of this. And yeah, I don't know. That's my experiment for the day. I'm really, really curious to see how it turns out. And I guess future Hannah will have those answers now. Hello, past Hannah. Some things happened. Some things didn't go according to plan. Some things went better than expected. So I have taken our loaves out of the oven. Ow, as if we are not the same person. I have taken the loaves out of the oven. I'm gonna just show you. So this one, the excess of salt really made a difference. I have made this loaf several times and it's always turned out beautiful. I feel like I need to put a photo in to show how beautiful it has turned out every single time. And one time when I'm filming it, we get this flat little pancake. So that is, I think, a reaction to the salt. The wholemeal, look at that. She's high, she's happy, she's looking good. Turned out way better than expected. So I'm gonna cut them and see what the insides look like with my cleaver. I'm really not hopeful. Before I turn it around, let's remember, bread is bread. Bread will still be bread, no matter how high or flat or whatever it is. It will still be edible, it will still taste reasonable, and it will still hold jams and hummuses and spreads. So let's remember that. Alright. Yeah. Let's ignore the hole, but other than that, it's not as bad as I expected. Quite gummy. Not quite gummy, a little bit gummy. I don't know. I swear I've made this bread very well recently. But this is multigrain. And now for the wholemeal. My very first wholemeal loaf. Ready? That's not too bad, little friends. Look at that. I mean, they both, you can definitely see this is actually gummy compared to this. But, like, realistically, I don't know. I feel like this would be a better experiment if I didn't mess this one up. But my first wholemeal, I'm very happy with this. So, past Hannah, we did okay. We did good at the one we expected to do bad at, and bad at the one we expected to do good at. Which, what else do you expect? Anyway, I'm going to have some for my lunch, so I'm going to cut the rest of this up, and we will see you tomorrow. Alright, bye.